Yo, Joes, what's up, everybody? This is Carson from 3D Joes, and this is Lila Bugs coming through. What's happening, Lila? You want to say hey to everybody? Come here, come here. Oh yeah, this is Lila Bugs. This is my sweet little girl. You gotta say hey. All right, we're not doing dog time right now though. We're gonna do a book review. We're gonna do a book unboxing. Yes, we are. All right, sweetie. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so what are we unboxing today? The last time I did an unboxing video on this table, it was with the Omnibus hardcover for the Art of G.I.JOE, A Real American Hero. That's on YouTube, and you can check out the whole book. It's about a 2-hour video review, and it's very exhaustive, and I apologize, but I've been writing it for like a year and a half, and so it was all front of mind, loaded in my RAM, my short-term memory, so I was prepared to talk. Now, this book, I do not know really anything about. So I'm going to be very short of words, and I'm not going to listen. I'm not an expert on the topic that we're going to be covering, but somebody at JoeFest, let me switch over my notes real quick. Somebody at JoeFest told me that the only book that compares to the Art of G.I.JOE, A Real American Hero Omnibus hardcover was the Star Wars Toy Guide by Read 5 Books. So I went to Read 5's website, and they said, unfortunately, the first edition is sold out, and the second print run pre-order is now closed. So I was like, great, I can't get the book. So I reached out to them through Facebook, through their Read 5 Facebook page, and I asked them, hey, I've heard your book's incredible, and I'd love to compare and learn from what you guys are doing, and maybe you're interested in doing the same. And so I talked to Greg. Greg was really cool, and he set up the trade. And so they sent me a book, and I sent them a book. And Gianni Venturini, love that name, Gianni Venturini. I feel like I have to say it like that, Gianni Venturini. Thank you, Gianni, for shipping me this book, and thank you, Greg, for lining it up. So this is a new camera. I'm gonna try a little trick here. All right, cool. There we go. So you guys know how big this book is. Most of you probably already own this thing, and so you're familiar with how big the omnibus hardcover of The Art of G.I.JOE, A Real American Hero is. So this is 14 and a half inches. Actually, this is 15 because this is the box, and this is 14 on the box. Now this clamshell case opens up, and then there's a folder in there with 24 prints, which you guys already know about. And then there's the book, and the book itself is 13 and a half by 14 and a half. So this is just a massive book. You guys probably already know it's 712 pages, and it weighs over 20 pounds. So I'm gonna get that out of the way. Now what just came in is this right here, this box. So you see it's equally big, so I'm very excited about that. And we're just gonna unbox this bad boy. So does anybody out there own this book? Has anybody seen this thing? I mean, obviously, the person at JoeFest that told me how amazing it was owns it. So yeah, it fills out that box pretty well. There's not a lot of extra space in there. I will say the Art of G.I.JOE, A Real American Hero is double boxed with foam inserts. So this, they took a different approach. Now they did reinforce the corners of this box with extra cardboard inserts. So they have extra cardboard inserts to protect the corners of the book. And then there's a foam envelope that is wrapped around the book. So I'd say, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable. Obviously double boxing trumps single boxing any day of the week, but the fact that they reinforced it with the cardboard corners and the fact that they put it in a bubble envelope, it's pretty good. All right, so I'm actually gonna put the knife on the inside of this. There we go. Don't worry, I'm not gonna scratch the book. All right, there we go. Okay, so nice bubble envelope wrapped around it, and then there is probably an acid-free plastic sleeve on it. So mine was shrink wrapped, so that's a little different. Go ahead and get the cardboard out of the way. So yeah, there's a couple differences. Theirs comes with a resealable kind of a Mylar sleeve, so that's nice. I do like that you can reuse this. Mine was obviously shrink wrapped, and once you tear it off, you're not able to use it. Now, what I did though is I put the barcode on the shrink wrap itself. so that it doesn't muck up the design of the book. So I do like that. All right, so nice little reusable, resealable sleeve. And this is it. This is the book. Now let's get a size comparison in here. These are both big babies. Look at these. So pretty comparable in size. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the clamshell case. So for those of you that have it, you got to pull this red, white, and blue ribbon to get the book out, right? We're gonna leave the folder in the clamshell case. We're gonna set that aside. And we're just gonna compare books. All right, yeah, it's pretty comparable, guys. I'd say the height, they've actually got maybe just on the hardback, they've got maybe a 1/4 inch of height advantage, but obviously I've got some width advantage there, you can see. But yeah, it's pretty comparable. Now, in terms of thickness, set that up and set this up. And you can see there's a bit of a thickness difference. I'm not sure how many pages theirs is because it really depends on the thickness of the paper. But if I had to guess, I'm gonna say 500 pages, maybe. We'll see, time will tell. All right, so you see if my book's on top, you can't see it, but that doesn't mean it's small. It's every bit as tall and just a little bit leaner on the width. All right, so I'm gonna put mine away. Those of you that don't have it yet, you can buy it at the artofgijoe.com. So this is nice, man. It's got a selective shiny foil on the cover, which reflects a little light. Actually, yeah, you can see it right there. So that's got a nice effect. Obviously, this is a kind of minimalist cover. This is a designerly cover, I would say. I think it's elegant, so good job to Gianni Venturini and Gregory Armstrong. So thank you, Greg, and thank you, Gianni, for mailing me this. Let's see, their dust jacket has a little bit of a summary, I guess I would say, a little bit of an intro from the authors. They've got 3 placeholders. Wow. So I've only got one, and it's red, white, and blue. They've got 3. Blue, red, and green. I bet you Star Wars fans, there's some kind of significance to those colors, I'm sure. Well, yeah, real simple, straightforward photos. There is a nice, like a spot varnish on these. So when you rub your finger across it, this is very smooth. And then when you hit the figures, there's a spot varnish on there. So there's like a little resistance on your finger. So it's actually kind of nice to rub it across it like you're playing a piano or something. You can feel the difference in the spot varnish. So that's cool. And then Evan, what's up, man? Appreciate that. So this is the OG lightsaber colors. So I see Star Wars fans are going to take so much more from this book than I will. And it's not that I'm not a Star Wars fan. I grew up, watching the original trilogy. The prequels were okay in the 90s. I didn't love them, but they were okay. And I absolutely love Rogue One, but that's about it from the new stuff. Andor was good too, but that's really like a Rogue One prequel. So, very minimalist opening here. Silhouettes of the toys themselves, it appears. Then we get into an intro page. So you got a black and white intro page, and then you got a color intro page. And this covers all the toys from 1977 to 1985. This is a big book. See, and they're using more negative space than I did, right? There's more room to breathe in here. And that's something that I was conscious of, but I made a conscious decision. This is an art book, and I want to fill every nook and cranny. But that was something I was a little self-conscious about because, I know my graphic design friends would say, you're always supposed to have more negative space. But I really just wanted to fill every nook and cranny of my book. Despite the fact it was 712 pages, there was a lot to show. So this is your full table of contents here. And I was close, man. It looks like it's a little bit over 500 pages. 526 is where the index is. There's Gianni. I love it. So little intro photos of them as kids. That's very cool because that puts them in the, the time and place where they would have been collecting these toys. That's what they looked like at that point. And that's very similar to what we did with the Art of G.I.JOE, Real American Hero. On our in sheets, we put photos of kids opening up their toys, right? And so the exact same thing that I emotionally tried to do here and that Chad Huckle helped me do, emotionally here, we wanted to reconnect you with why this is so important. It's that shared experience that we had of opening these toys and watching the cartoons and reading the comic books. So they did the same thing here, where they showed themselves as kids around the age where they'd be playing with these toys, and I think that's a great move. Class act. All right, so you get a little history of Kenner, the evolution of the action figure. Cool, this is nice. I like this a lot. I really look forward to reading this. Nice. So, I mean, some say evolution, some say devolution. To me, G.I. Joe from 1964 was very articulate, and the Star Wars figures were anything but they were reaching a smaller scale and a smaller price point, and this was kind of the new standard of the time, that kind of 5 POA. Not nearly as articulate as Microman, for example, but this is what was really successful. You can't argue with the success of Star Wars in the late 1970s. Now, us G.I. Joe guys are kind of snobby about it because we know G.I. Joe is like the king of articulation, and so 5 POA is not enough for us, not nearly enough. All right, so it looks like it's showing off the different card fronts, kind of the same thing that we did at the end of each figure section, where you know all the variants that were available. I do like how they're explaining each element of it. Now, there's something on the videos that we put together where Kirk Bazigian does this for the G.I. Joe Real American Hero packaging, where he goes through each element and speaks about it. And that's probably my favorite, like 6 to 8 minutes of Kirk's interview, because it's so concise and there's so much packed in on those card fronts and card backs. Card front sequences. Wow. Yeah, I'd definitely be curious to see what their production setup is like. So, Gianni, if you want to compare notes and share, I would love to, man. Just as a kind of fellow archivist, let's talk about how we're accomplishing what we're accomplishing. You got some yellow bubbles here, buddy. I'm just kidding. Now, Chad and I, to be fair, we edited the heck out of ours to where we would composite multiple images. Sometimes we would composite mint on card photos along with card back scans to get the optimal image. So we very much, used production and post-production tricks to make our stuff look as good as we could. Wow, so here's the full lineup. I dig these close-up photos here. That's fun. Everybody knows about the rocket launching Boba Fett. There's a little call out for him right there, showing it as a promo. This includes the offer for a free Boba Fett figure, as Boba first appeared in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and he was different colors. This was a printed image on the cardboard and depicted Boba Fett prototype, which was altered at the time of production. See page 54 for more information on the prototype. With 4 proof of purchase seals you could send away for your free figure. So, Kenner was already doing what G.I. Joe ended up doing with the flag points. Kirk Bazigian and company credit Palitoy, though, actually, with giving them the idea for flag points. They were doing whatever action points, star points, whatever Palitoy was doing, but that was the reference that Kirk Bazigian gave for why they invented flag points for G.I. Joe. Wow, this is very technical, which I can't say I'm surprised. What is going on here? 20 back flowchart. Yeah, this goes in depth. So one of the things we haven't done in the G.I. Joe community enough yet, and they did start to do it with G.I. Joe, was a cardback archive. Now, what I would like to do is show every single version of each figure that was ever available, including with every insert and every sticker promo or every printed on card promo. So for example, like the fridge, when the fridge came out in early 1987, he was the spring of 1987 promotion. It originally was a sticker on the card back. So there was a explosion back, 1987 card back. Then there was a card back that had the fridge sticker. Then there was a card back that had the fridge, the same promotion, but it was printed on the card back. And then they moved on from that and went through several other promotions that year. So 1987 was pretty promotion rich. They did the battle ribbons, and I think they did a couple others. So if you were collecting just say the 1987 Falcon figure, you would have probably a dozen, if you consider Falcon was available 87 and 88, there's probably a dozen mint on card figures that you could collect if you wanted to get every version of it. So I think that's what they're spelling out here. We haven't, as a community, come together and documented with 100% certainty every variation of every mint on card figure that you could get. But I think that's what I'm looking at here, and I am impressed if that's the case and that's what they've done here. I think that is a mission worth pursuing. I would probably do it more like a Gantt chart, you know, where you have each character and then each column is the type of promotion, and then you just color in whether that promotion was available with that character. You know, also some characters were available for 3 or 4 years. Cobra, either Trooper or Officer, was available for 4 years. I believe Storm Shadow version 1 was available for 3 years. So there's some, you know, rare figures that were available for 3 or 4 years, and then there's some figures that were only available for 1 year, especially later in the line. So I think that's something the G.I. Joe community could use, kind of an index that tells you which all mint on card figures, which all inserts, which all promo stickers and print on card promos were available with specific figures. But to submit those kinds, that kind of documentation, I would need to see the front of the card back, and then I would need the person on video to flip it, because that's the only way you're going to know the card front and the card back and confirm 100% that it is, you know, the same specimen. Let's see, where did I purchase this? Jerry, I actually traded with the guys from Read 5 Books. This feels like a gatefold. I'm feeling a little thickness here. Yeah, so they did a little fold-out gatefold too. Kind of similar to what I did. Now, my gatefold is a full page, right? So it opens up and kind of doubles the page length. Theirs goes about maybe 2/3 of the page, and you can see how it opens up to show the figure. It's pretty cool. So he's with the cape here and with the cape on the card. And then when you open it up, the capes come off and you can see the figure. That's very smart, very clever. I like how they did that. Good job, guys. That's really cool. I like how you used the gatefold spread with purpose. And it looks like this right here is the figure, right? I'm going to keep my hand in the same place and go back down, and it looks like they put it kind of right where it was on the card. And then, of course, these figures are lined up when you open that too. So this is very clever, the way they use the gatefold spread. Good job, guys. Not that they're looking for my critique, but I'm going to give it anyway. So yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, same thing. Now, they didn't do the cape where he was there. They brought this coin. Actually, I don't see the coin on here, but whatever. I'm maybe sent away for it, or maybe it was a different version, but there's the coin, the Power of the Force card front. I do like these close-ups on the where the gatefold folds out. They've got these really extreme close-ups of the figures, and that's fun. But yeah, so it looks like, I'm not sure what this indicates, where it's dimmed out and where it's you know, fully opaque. But I think that's what they're showing, the front and back cross reference. I think they're showing all the versions that were available of this specific figure. So, you know, no gatefold on Han Solo because he didn't have a removable coat. So it looks like they just did that for the people with the removable jackets. Yep. You know, I want that coat to be right there, like right where he is. That's just a quirk of mine. Yeah, I think they did a kind of a cross section where you can tell all the card backs that were available with the different promotions. Pretty sweet. There is Snaggletooth. So there's a tall blue Snaggletooth and there's a short red Snaggletooth. The tall blue version, although not a carded variation, this is how the figure first appeared when released in the Cantina Adventure set. So they do have a page for the blue Snaggletooth. Who was asking about that? Yeah, Evan, there's a page for the blue Snaggletooth. And evidently, see page 271 for more detail. Super rare and pricey, huh? I figured, was it a mail order set, or where did the blue tall one come from? And why was it a tall body on the mail order but a short body on the carded? There's Boba Fett, who was really cool until he got a TV series. Nice. Yeah, I really do like these extreme close-ups. And, you know, not to, you know, we're drawing parallels here, right? So whenever I would do a figure overview page, one of the things that I did was extreme close-ups like that. And that's a good way to kind of break up the size of the imagery. So let's get past the vehicles here. Get past the books. So much good Earl Norham art in here. All right. So yeah, we did extreme close-ups for the figure overview pages. And that's one of the ways that I wanted to visually break this book up so that everything wasn't so consistent in size. And that's what they did when you break out these little gatefold spreads. They did extreme close-up photography of the toys. So I think, I don't want to call myself a great mind, but the saying great minds think alike when it comes to laying out books and trying to keep a little visual variety. So I'm curious, this looks like it's 3.75 inches, I would say. And I do believe these are one-to-one cardbacks, and these are one-to-one loose figure photos, which again is the same thing that we did for the Art of G.I.JOE, Real American Hero. We did one-to-one figure cardbacks. Now, we went a little wider so that we could fit 2 per page, because that's the only way we could do it. There's, you know, 452 or so figures from 1982 to 1994, so you're dealing with a lot more figures in G.I. Joe. So we had to fit 2 per page. And we also were able to get the file card in there, which I reckon with Star Wars, they didn't have the luxury of a file card. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, though. But yeah, there's a lot of similarities here. You know, I would say the one-to-one cardbacks, the one-to-one figure photography, the splash page kind of extreme close-ups. It's very comparable in terms of size. It's very, oh man, I just messed up that page. Come on, Carson. It's very comparable in terms of weight. I'd say this is probably 12 pounds, maybe. It's definitely lighter. Definitely lighter. It's a beautiful book, though. Well done, guys. And I'm a little jealous of all the variations for the cardbacks, but we would not be able to fit that and get it done with a 700-page book. I will say, you know, the Art of G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, the thing I'm really most proud about it, and that's only because we had such amazing support through the Kickstarter, is that we were able to expand the scope of it so far beyond just showing all the toys, just showing all the package artwork for the figures, vehicles, and playsets and peripheral products, you know, to where we did a little bit of cartoon art, a little bit of comic book art, and most importantly, the creator profiles that we were able to share with everybody. I really like the extreme close-up photography. That's my proudest kind of addition to the Art of G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. And we wouldn't have been able to do it if we didn't get such amazing support through the Kickstarter. So thank you to the thousands of G.I. Joe fans that contributed to the Kickstarter and allowed us to dream bigger. All right, so this is the variations section. And I mean, it starts at 260 and goes to 300, so there's some pretty significant variation information. And this feels more like a Belomo book, right? Where you've got a ton of really nice figure and accessory photography. White buckle versus a silver buckle. We're starting to get into paint apps and really particular details. Yep, so there's about 40 pages of that stuff. And as you can see down the right-hand side and the left-hand side, You can tell where you are right here and right there, similar to what we did with the Omnibus hardcover. So we know we're in the action figure variations section for Return of the Jedi specifically. And then now we're into the Kenner Star Wars action figure for the Power of the Force. What is this? Talking about hilts. For the lightsabers. Wow, so they're going into the accessory variations. This stuff would be, just like Snake Eyes' Uzi. I've seen people posting on Facebook like 15 different Uzis, and they can tell every year that all of them are from. And I know the early ones and how to tell with the barrel length and the girth of the barrel. And the sights changed significantly. So you need to know your Joe accessories, especially if you're spending big money on vintage stuff. But yeah, this is impressive that they presented it in this way. I could see Kaufman doing a book like this. A little selective focus here. Vignetting. All right, so now we're into multi-packs, 2-packs, 3-packs, 6-packs. There you go. Okay, maybe I've seen this. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. This is the type of chart that I would envision. And each figure, yes, this would be like, for me, it would be each figure name going this way, and then this would be all the promotions that were released over the years, and you would just have a Gantt chart where you could see with a quick at a glance what figure was available with what card back and what promotion. I think that would be something really smart to do. Take forever. And we would need a lot of contributions from the community to confirm everything, but I think it's worth doing. So these are all the multi-packs. Baggies and mail order. So you got a whole mail order section. See, we didn't touch on this at all because there's no original painted package art. And if there was, we included the package art, but we didn't cover which mail order items there were. And oh my goodness, there would just be a ton of that if we did. The book would have been 30 pounds. Christmas catalogs. That's great. Wow. Cool. They definitely are getting into some stuff we didn't even try to approach. Look at this. I love it because that's a time capsule. If you were shopping out of Montgomery Ward at that time as a kid, you probably remember that catalog, and so I'm a huge fan of that. That's a cool ad there. Good job, y'all. We've started to document some of the Sears catalogs on 3D Joe's. It's not something that I put a tremendous amount of time into. I would love to, if anybody out there has collected them and would be willing to scan them, I'd love to get that added to the site because I think this is, it's all about the time capsule, the nostalgia, and certainly those Christmas catalogs are a big part of that. Look at that. So many Christmas catalogs. Good Lord. There's a lot of pages dedicated to this, y'all. Wow. All right, and then your coin section. So many coins. Proof cards, nice. They've got a bunch of unproduced ones in here. It's great. Wow, so many proof cards. All right, and then these are Toy Fair previews, evidently. Droids. What was this? This was a cartoon, right? The droid cartoon. Yeah, I've seen the trailer, actually. I know it was a cartoon. Don't sweat it. This happens to me too, but every now and then you just get a miscut corner. And honestly, guys, if you're out there and you get one of these on my book, it happens. The best thing to do is just take a little X-Acto knife and trim that extra little bit off. But it's good to see that doesn't just happen to me. Happens to the best of us. And then the Ewoks, of course. Large size action figures. And was this the same era though? I do wish they pointed out what year it was, and they might. This is my first glance at it. But when I'm looking at a kind of historical document like this, I want to be able to quickly, I guess maybe I'm just fixated on time more than other people. But like when you start a new section like this, I would like to know kind of at a glance, okay, when was this released? 1979, there you go. So it just took, you know, I got that information that I wanted on page 3 of that section, right? So you have Princess Leia page 1, page 2, and then 11.5-inch Princess Leia 1979. There we go. And now I'm, you know, I'm set in time. That's the year I was born when these came out. Okay, this one's 1980. Oh man, that would be a great one to own. I wonder if he's still shiny like that, or if it suffers from the Sky Patrol, you know, kind of peeling and fading. These are cool though. I never had big Star Wars growing up. I did have some of the, you know, 5 POA Star Wars and 3.75-inch. Oh, okay. So it's worth mentioning, Volume 1 is sold out, but you can get on the wait list for the pre-order. So the pre-order window has closed. So the only thing you can do is go to their website and get on the wait list for the pre-order for the second print of this book. Now, Volume 2 is in progress. They're working on it. And so this is a little preview of Volume 2, evidently. It's got the Death Star space station. Oh, okay. I guess that's all they show for the preview. Volume 2 will see us feature vehicles and playsets from the X-Wing fighter, the Jabba the Hutt and Dungeon Action playset, and from mini rigs to space stations. So they plan on exploring those items in as much detail as they have the figures, and feature elements like variations, mail orders, special offers, etc. So yeah, this is the level of detail that they plan to attain in documenting the vehicles and playsets. It sounds like. So they're working on Volume 2. Let's see. Then there's a bibliography and a quick reference guide. So it shows you where you can find more information online. That's really cool. Nice little QR codes probably jump you over to each of those pages. And then you have an index, which I did not make room for, but I did give you an index down the right-hand side as the years and down the left-hand side as the type of content. So hopefully you guys can find your way around in my book. See you soon. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you, Gianni Venturini and Greg Armstrong. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sending me this. It's a very nice, high-quality toy collecting guide. I do not have a comparable Star Wars book like this, so I would say this is like Belomo's book is for G.I. Joe. Although Belomo's book didn't get into the cardbacks and the variations and that kind of thing. So this, in a way, is more detailed than Belomo's G.I. Joe book. I don't want to say more detailed, but it covers parts of the lore that are not covered. Belomo's book is loose figures, accessories. It has bios and it has you know, other writing about the characters and that kind of thing, but it doesn't cover packaging. And this covers a ton of packaging. So yeah, this is a exhaustive, gigantic Star Wars tome. Dedicated to figures, not vehicles and playsets. So I guess Volume 2 is going to be covering the figures and playsets. So if you want to get on their wait list, please do that. It's, again, Read 5 is the company. Read 5 Books is the website. And obviously there is a little comparison shot. Let me move this camera down a bit. There we go. And move it back just a touch. So there's your comparison shot of the Art of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and the Star Wars toy guide. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little preview, and I'll jump in on the comments and reply to anybody that was commenting. Appreciate you guys watching.